What can I say? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it happens to be for you. I hope you're doing well. So it finished Tottenham 1, West Ham 2. Let's talk about the game. The lineup, I think, I wasn't particularly shocked, as I said, because of the limited options that there really were. I did actually say for Ben Davies to play. Unfortunately, he did get that injury. And we didn't get to see how good he could have been, should have been. I don't know. Like, we just obviously didn't see too much of him. He played right for the game, the part of the game that he did play. So the having Mawani, I suppose again, what can you do? I guess for me, I probably wouldn't have done that. As I said, I probably would have maybe done it a little bit differently. But there we go. So let's get into that first half of, I don't know what the flip that was. We looked like, for the couple of minutes, we come on, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I was like, all right, we look like we've got a bit of energy. We're looking like we're going to try and close them down a little bit more. We were up for it, at it, and then it went wrong because we let them grow into the game massively. You could see that they started getting hold of the ball a lot more. They started looking much more dangerous when they did attack. Any time that they attacked, they looked dangerous. They had a chance, I think, before we even had a chance, because I don't remember us really having a chance in that first half. Maybe late on in the half, perhaps, but I don't really remember many, if any at all. I know we did have chances, but they weren't really looking that dangerous, if you get what I'm saying. So I actually never really thought that we were going forward with actual intent. It might have been at purpose at first, but it wasn't like we actually intended to score. They did. And we had a bit of a warning, and it was an offside goal. We then carried on letting them have the ball, let them basically carve out situations where they could try and score, getting balls into our box and being really attacking. And then they did score. It was really bad from Porro. He allowed the player to get away, and yeah, absolutely appalling, really, defensively wise. And then, like I say, from then on, it did just look like they were in full control mode. We did not lay a glove on them, not a glove, not even a little pinky on the glove. We were just absolutely awful going forward, sloppy, disjointed, just so many words, but we were absolutely appalling. We come out the second half. I don't think we started off the second half particularly well. I think it was a bit of a slow start from both teams, although again, I felt like if anyone was going to be dangerous, it would actually be them, to be fair. We did get a goal with Romero, a header from him, and making it 1-1. And then we did pile on the pressure. We did look more attacking. We looked like we were going to possibly score a second. We had plenty of chances. The change came as well with Basuma coming on and Archie Gray off. This was done at half time. And he looked like he had something to prove. And he had a good few shots. We had, as I say, a lot more attacking intent, plenty of corners, really looking much better when it came to attacking. But that's because I feel that West Ham were tiring. You could see they were getting a bit more leggy, and they had given their all in that first half and couldn't do it for both halves of football. Now, I don't know if that was a tactic of his, but I am appalled if that was a tactic of his. In all honesty, it was disgraceful to try and in that first half just, I don't know what, hold them out, give them respect. Like, what are we doing? It's West Ham. We should be pressing them. We should be pressing them hell out of them. We should be pressing the flipping hell out of them, but we didn't. And so, yeah, as I say, in that second half, once we got that goal, again, like I say, we did actually look okay. We looked better. We looked a lot better, like we were actually wanting to attack. And then they bring on Callum Wilson, who comes straight on, looks dangerous to start with, and look, he could have possibly got a goal straight away. That was near his first touch. Then they do get a corner, and there was loads of men in the box, and Vicario was very weak with it. He's saying that he got there was a foul, but when you watched it back, it wasn't. It was just a bit of body blocking, and he should have done a lot better. There was loads of men in the box. I think it was Spence it come off. I don't know, because it was a bit of a madness, and they ended up. I think it came off Spence, went to Callum Wilson, and he scored. I think it was given to Callum Wilson. I haven't even looked. I don't even want to look, if I'm honest. And yeah, so after that, they just really managed the game. We didn't look like we were going to score again, really, if you're honest. We just looked like we were taking a bit more like pot shots, or, because we seemed like we just run out of energy, run out of ideas, because it felt like that we gave our all for that short period of time. So they just were like, well, we tried, and definitely not acceptable from any player, like no player at all. But I will say about Thomas Frank, I don't know why he didn't take off Mawani. He should have 100% done that, in my opinion, because he wasn't that great at all, and I can see why Tell was a little peed off. He brought on Bergvall to take a long throw. Like, what are we doing here? I just think that overall he hasn't got the ethos or the way that Tottenham want to be at all. He just don't. He doesn't have that. He just seems like he is content with playing this style of football, because he doesn't ever change it. We seem to come out in the second half and play slightly better, because the other team may be tiring and back off or whatever reason. But we're at home. We should be playing like that from the get-go. As I say, it is West Ham. We're not playing prime Barcelona, but we made them look like it in that first half. And we can't carry on. I said, if he loses this game, he needs to lose his bloody job. You can't carry on allowing this to happen. And to West Ham, they've been appalling this season. Rubbish. Crap. They've just been so dreadful. And we are allowing them to come to our stadium in that first half and just bop it about like they are prime Barcelona. Honestly, it needs to stop. It really does need to stop. And the only way I can see it stopping is if we get a fresh face in, and just let them have the team until the end of the season, and then get somebody else in the summer, because I think that a fresh face, a new set of eyes on that team could set it up better. We could do better. I believe this team is better than what we are showing. 100%. I don't care what anyone says, because you've seen that in second halves of football. You've seen it in parts with the way that they can play when we set up like in a slightly better way, or when we play a slightly different way. But we just don't do that enough. We do not do that enough. And I just think that someone needs to come in and just give these boys a little bit more freedom when it comes to going forward, and maybe do some more work on their attack, because we're just clearly not working on the attack at all. We're not working on it at all. Let's be completely honest. We're not. Because you can see, because when we try and play, we don't set up patterns of play. We don't look like any kind of team. I keep saying this, but what are we as a team? I just don't know. I really don't know. And I do understand we do have a lot of players missing, a lot. But use the team you've got and play it in the best way possible. Surely that is the way to do it. We're not going to win the Champions League, so now all we've got is to try and get a European place in the league. And right now, I just don't think we're going to do that. We're just not. We're just not going to do it. And whilst I don't think it is the be all and end all, I just think if we're not going to go far in cups or competitions like we haven't, and if we're not going to win the Champions League, which we're not going to, then we need to do better in that league, because that's what everybody was saying, that Ange Postecoglou sacrificed the league, because we know that the players come out and said so, he said so, and he did that to win that cup, and that's why we finished 17th, because we did sacrifice it. Whether you think it's right or wrong, that's what happened. Well, what's Thomas Frank doing? He's just sacrificing it all. Just sacrifice it all, yeah? Cool. That's not what we're doing around here. That is not what we should be doing around here. So, for me, he has to go. He just has to go. I'm sorry, but he just has to go. Well, now I've got that off my chest. Please let me know what you think of this game. I'm hoping that you're just as appalled as I am, because I'm sure that we all are. The protest today, I'm not sure how it went, but I don't know if that will invoke any kind of change in what the board are going to do or not going to do. Let's wait and see. But I just don't want to see Thomas Frank at my club any longer. I cannot take it. I cannot take any more of this football, if this is what you are calling it, because it is not football in my eyes. And I've watched a lot of football with my eyeballs for a lot of years, and even when we have been terrible in other periods, it has never ever been this bad. Not for me anyway. That's just my opinion, but you can disagree and say that there has been worse periods. Obviously, with my age, I'm talking about what I've seen with my own eyes, but that just, for me, sums it all up. It is literally the worst I've ever seen us. I am discontent. I don't want to watch the football. I watch it because they're my team, not because I want to enjoy watching football, because I watch any other team but us to do that. And like I say, I think that says a heck of a lot about the football that we're playing right now. And I'm a pretty tolerant, a pretty person that will try and give time to somebody. I try and be fair, but this is just ridiculous. So, as I say, let me know. I'd love to know your opinions, and I'll speak to you real soon. Take very good care of yourselves.